So welcome back again. We will now have our second part of the presentation on teaching and learning for sustainable development, and it will focus on learning styles. First we can ask the question or think about how do people learn. And in the EduCamp project we did a survey among teachers and professors in Egypt. And one question was about how do they best learn. And they had following answer possibilities. They were reading information, repeating, memorizing information, hearing, observing, moving, analytical explanations, singing or humming, learning by examples of values and principles, or by working in teams. And the results were quite interesting. The teachers said they can best learn and the students can best learn by singing. And the professors also said singing, hearing and repeating is very important for them for the learning process, so that you can better remember what you have learned, what you have heard. So just to have this aspect also in your mind. I will now show you two learning style theories. The first one is according to Frederick Fester and the second one to David Kolb. The learning type theory, which goes back to Frederick Fester, he developed this, or he read this important book, Learning, Thinking, Forgetting, already in 1975. And according to him, there are 4 learning types. It's the auditive learning, so he best learns by listening and speaking. The visual learning type through the eyes, so by watching. The haptic learning type by touching and feeling. And the fourth one is through learning through the intellect. And we can see that the first 3 learning types, they are characterized through respective channels, so through the sensory mode, if you speak, think, watch or feel. And the last learning type addresses really the process of understanding itself. So it's more also on a meta level. The next learning theory is according to David Kolb. It's the experiential learning theory, which he developed in 1984, and it focused on explaining human learning behavior. And he also identified 4 learning styles, and they are based on a 4-stage learning cycle. So this learning cycle, we have concrete experience, this is again the feeling, reflective observation, watching, abstract conceptualization is the thinking, and then active experimentation, the doing. And the 4 learning styles are diverging, so feel and watch, assimilating, think and watch, converging, think and do, and accommodating, feel and do. And here you can better see this learning cycle. And according to David Kolb, you have only 2 choices. So you do or watch on this level, or you think and feel. You have it on this level of this cycle. And it's so doing or watching is how you approach a task, and thinking or feeling how you emotionally respond to this task and to this experience. So grasping experience means that through watching others involved also in the experience, and you reflect on what's happening. So it's this reflective observation. Or you can do something, you can do it, you can be active. So you have the choices of watching or doing. And then transforming experience is through gaining new information by thinking, by analyzing or planning. Is this abstract conceptualization, the thinking. Or you can you can respond more through feelings. So you also have, again, this choice of thinking and feeling. And here we see the whole model by David Kolb. So in this axis, you see in red, you see the 4 learning styles according to Kolb. And he shows that you have the possibility, as said before, you can feel, you can be the type that especially feels and watches, or thinks and watches, or feels and does something, or thinks and does and takes action. Confucius once said, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And I think when talking about ESD, it's important that we also try to more focus on the doing, on really taking action, so to really be able to understand all those systems behind. So here we have this pyramid of learning, and you can very well see that people are able to remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, 70% of what they say, and 90% of what they both say and do. So the more the students or people are involved in the learning process, the more they can interact and really participate in the learning process. So also by doing activities and so on, the better they can really remember what they have learned. So when planning your teaching, your classes, it's good to think also of this pyramid, so that you really try to integrate activities and more interactive sessions. So why do I talk with you also about the different learning styles? I think in a classroom as a teacher, it's just important that you are aware that students prefer different learning styles. And of course it would be perfect if you would know the learning styles of the students, but I think especially also for students it's sometimes very difficult to really know what's your own learning style. But when you try to address different teaching methods that suit different learning preferences, it will always be good, and you will reach more students. So learning is most effective when information is reinforced through multiple styles of presentation, so that you really teach with addressing all senses. Here you can see a website where you can download online tests to assess learning styles. It's quite a simple test. It's those VARC tests, which stands for visual, auditory, read, write and kinesthetic learning types. But it can be a good opportunity also for the students to be aware of their learning styles, or that they know that there exist different learning styles, and maybe they haven't thought about it yet, but so they can get an understanding or a feeling, do they best learn when they hear, or do they have to read the text loud so they can better remember. So this is an opportunity or a possibility you can do in the classroom with your students. So I hope also this session was useful for you, that you think about different learning styles and also what it means when you teach in your classroom. And I thank you again for your attention.